Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya 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 Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavana Dham. Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavana Dham. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha 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 Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha. Jai Jagannatha, Jai Jagannatha, Jai Jagannatha, Jai Jagannatha. Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya प्रभुपदा श्रील प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा श्रील गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा श्रील गुरुदेवा निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतमदभय चरणारविंदेश भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की, कृष्ण कृपा मूर्ति श्रील प्रभुपाद की, इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज प्रभुपाद ठाकुर की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार्य श्री हरदास ठाकुर की, प्रेम से गौ जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिगोवर्धन धाम की, वृंदावन मथुरा गोकुल द्वारका धाम की, नवदीप मायापुर धाम की, पुण्य क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा मई यमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की, कलयुग पावन तारण हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू असेंबल्ड डिवोटीज, ऑल ग्लोरीज टू श्री गुरु एंड श्री गौरांग। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण। We'll start Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, Lok 12. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टके कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंद गोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः गोविंदाय नमो नमः गोविंदाय नमो नमः नमः पंकजनाभाय नमः पंकजमालिने नमः पंकजनेत्राय नमस्ते पंकजांग्रे। हरे कृष्ण। Welcome to everybody for this Friday Bhagavad Gita class. So third chapter we continue, Shlok 12 and 13 also we'll take today because iṣṭān bhogān hi vo devā dāsyante yajña-bhāvitāḥ tair dattān apradāyaibhyo yo bhuṅkte stena evasa iṣṭān bhogān hi vo devā dāsyante yajña-bhāvitāḥ tair dattān apradāyaibhyo yo bhuṅkte stena evasa
iṣṭān bhogān hi vo devā
iṣṭān bhogān hi vo devā dāsyante yajña-bhāvitāḥ tair dattān apradāyaibhyo yo bhuṅkte stena evasa।
iṣṭān bhogān hi vo devā.
iṣṭān bhogān hi vo devā.
dāsyante yajña-bhāvitāḥ.
dāsyante yajña-bhāvitāḥ.
tair dattān apradāyaibhyo.
tair dattān apradāyaibhyo.
yo bhuṅkte stena eva saha.
yo bhuṅkte stena eva saha. iṣṭān bhogān hi vo devā. dāsyante yajña-bhāvitāḥ. tair dattān apradāyaibhyo. yo bhuṅkte stena eva saha. iṣṭān,
iṣṭān,
desired.
desire.
bhogān,
bhogān,
necessities of life.
necessities of life.
He, certainly.
certainly.
Vaha,
vaha,
unto you.
unto you.
Devā,
devā,
the demigods.
the demigods.
Dasyante,
dāsyante,
will award.
will award.
Yajña-bhāvitāḥ,
yajña-bhāvitāḥ,
being satisfied
being satisfied
by the performance of sacrifice.
by the performance of sacrifice.
Tair,
tair,
by them.
by them.
Dattān,
dattān,
things given.
things given.
Apradāyaibhyo,
apradāyaibhyo,
without offering.
without offering.
Ebhyaḥ, to these demigods.
to these demigods.
Ya,
Yeah,
he who.
he who
Bhuṅkte,
bhuṅkte,
enjoys.
enjoys.
Stena,
stena,
thief.
thief.
Eva,
eva,
certainly.
certainly.
Sa,
sa,
he.
he.
Translation purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Repeat after me. In charge of various necessities of life,
In charge of the various necessities of life,
the demigods being satisfied
the demigods being satisfied
by the performance of yajna,
by the performance of yajna,
sacrifice,
sacrifice,
will supply
will supply
all necessities to you.
all necessities to you.
But he
But he
who enjoys
who enjoys
such gifts
such gifts
without offering them
without offering them
to the demigod in return
to the demigods in return,
is certainly a
he is certainly a
thief.
thief.
Purport पढ़ेंगे कोई?
The demigods are unauthorized
हाँ,
supplying
authorized,
agents-
not unauthorized.
authorized supplying agents on behalf of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu. Therefore, they must be satisfied by the performance of prescribed yajñas. In the Vedas, there are different kinds of yajñas prescribed for different kinds of demigods, but all are ultimately offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For one who cannot understand what the personality of Godhead is, sacrifice to the demigods is recommended. According to the different
Material.
material qualities of the persons concerned, different types of yajñas are recommended in the Vedas. Worship of different demigods is also on the same basis, namely according to different qualities. For example, the meat eaters are recommended to worship the goddess Kali, the ghastly form of
Material nature.
And before the goddess, the sacrifice of animals is recommended. But for those who are in the mode of goodness, the transcendental worship of Vishnu is recommended. But ultimately, all yajnas are meant for gradual promotion to the transcendental positions. For ordinary men, at least 5 yajnas, known as Pancha-maha-yajna, are necessary. One should know, however, that all the necessities of life that the human society requires are supplied by the demigod agents of the Lord. No one can manufacture anything. Take, for example, all the eatables of human society. These eatables include grains, fruits, vegetables, milk, sugar, etc. For the persons in the mode of goodness, and also eatables for the non-vegetarians, like meats, none of which can be manufactured by them. Then again, by men. Then again, take for example, heat, light, water, air, etc., which are also necessities of life. None of them can be manufactured by the human society. Without the Supreme Lord, there can be no profuse sunlight, moonlight, rainfall, breeze, etc. Without which no one can live. Obviously, our life is dependent on supplies from the Lord. Even for our manufacturing enterprises, we require so many raw materials like metal, sulfur, mercury, manganese, and so many essentials, all of which are supplied by the agents of the Lord. With the purpose that we should make proper use of them to keep ourselves fit and healthy for the purpose of self-realization, leading to the ultimate goal of life, namely liberation from the material struggle for existence. This aim of life attained by performance of yajnas. If you forget the purpose of human life and simply take supplies from the agents of the Lord of sense gratification and become more and more entangled in material existence, it is not the purpose of creation. Certainly, we become thieves, and therefore we are punished by the law of material nature. A society of thieves can never be happy because they have no aim in life. The gross materialist thieves have no ultimate goal of life. They are simply directed to sense gratification, nor do they have knowledge of how to perform yajnas. Lord Chaitanya, however, inaugurated the easiest performance of yajna, namely the Sankirtana yajna, which can be performed by anyone in the world who accept the principles of Krishna consciousness.
Om Tat Sat. We'll take up 13 also because, of course, the purport is long, but then, most of it is very self-explanatory kind of thing, but we'll discuss something, okay? And we'll take up 13 also, so that, this both we can discuss today, and then next week, we can take the cycle of yajna. Yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo.
Yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo.
Mucyante sarva-kilbiṣaiḥ.
Sarva-kilbiṣaiḥ.
bhuñjate te aghaṁ pāpā.
Bhuñjate te pāpā.
Ye ātma-kāraṇāt. yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo.
Yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo.
mucyante sarva-kilbiṣaiḥ. bhuñjate te aghaṁ pāpā. ye ātma-kāraṇāt. Repeat करें.
yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo.
yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo.
mucyante sarva-kilbiṣaiḥ.
mucyante sarva-kilbiṣaiḥ. bhuñjate te aghaṁ pāpā. ye ātma-kāraṇāt.
Yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo.
yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo.
Mucyante sarva-kilbiṣaiḥ.
mucyante sarva-kilbiṣaiḥ.
bhuñjate te aghaṁ pāpā.
bhuñjate te aghaṁ pāpā.
ye ātma-kāraṇāt.
ye ātma-kāraṇāt. Yajña-śiṣṭā,
Yajña-śiṣṭā,
of food taken
of food taken
after performance of yajna.
after performance of yajna.
Ashina,
Ashina,
eaters. Santa, the devotees. Mucyante, get relief. Sarva, all kinds of. Kilbiṣaiḥ, from sins. Bhuñjate, enjoy. Te, they, too, but. Aghaṁ, grievous sins. Pāpā, sinners. Ye, who. Pacanty, prepare food. Ātma-kāraṇāt, for sense enjoyment. Translation purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Repeat after me. The devotees of the Lord are released from all kinds of sins because they eat food which is offered first for sacrifice. Others who prepare food for personal sense enjoyment verily eat only sin. Translation, read.
The devotees of the Supreme Lord are the persons who are in Krishna consciousness are called santas, and they are always in love with the Lord, as it is described in the Brahma Samhita. Premamaya bhakti vidochenena santa sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti. The santas, being always in compact of love with
Supreme
Personality of Godhead, Govinda, the giver of all pleasures, or Mukunda, the giver of liberation, or Krishna, the all-attractive person, cannot accept anything without first offering it to the Supreme Person. Therefore, such devotees always perform yajnas in the different modes of devotional service such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Archanam, etc. And these performance of yajnas keep them always aloof from all kinds of contamination of sinful association in the material world. Others who prepare food for self or sense gratification are not only thieves but also the eaters of all kinds of sins. How can a person be happy if he is both a thief, happy, and sinful? It is not possible. Therefore, in order for people to become happy in all respects, they must be taught to perform the easy process of Sankirtana Yajna in full Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, there can be no peace or happiness in the world.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana-śalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalitan Shri Vishakam Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Muktam Shri Chaitanya Hare Krishna. So 12 and 13. So we'll just have a short recap of what we discussed last week. 3.11. Quick recap. What did we? Devan Bhavai. Yes, demigods. Personality of Godhead. Yes. They are the
mind and
soul and body. Yeah, soul and body in the perfection. Because
all the living
of all the living entities happens like yes. What else?
The system of cosmic cooperation.
Yeah.
Universal government.
Yeah. So what we thought is the universe, it's actually the universal government in picture. Because what happens when we say that, you keep the Devi Devatas happy and the Devi Devatas will keep you happy. So in mutual cooperation, you will grow. That's what it is said, Shreya Param Avapsyata. That's what it was said, that you will grow. So mutual cooperation happens and you grow, and that is what exactly happens. What is that mutual cooperation? So, that's where we took the example of the present government, they provide electricity, water, to us, and at the end of the month, after using them at the end of the month, they give us some bill also, which we honor. And the moment we honor, the services continue. If we don't honor, next month the services will get cut. So, because there is no cooperation from you, they cooperated full month, they gave you electricity, water, and you don't want to pay them. So they will naturally, there is no cooperation. So then the relationship breaks. What else? Yeah, what are the side benefits? Shuddhi, yes. Chitta, Ahara Shuddha. Yes, that's a shloka. So what happens is the eatables are sanctified. Ahara Shuddho, Sattva Shuddhi. Existence is purified. And what happens with that? Our finer tissues in the brain, they also get sanctified. And then when they are sanctified, that is how they can think on the path of liberation. Because this whole Bhagavad Gita, stay in the Brahmisthiti whole life and go back to Brahma, that is what we ended up with second chapter, right? Esha Brahmisthita Partha. So be controlled in your life and go back to Godhead, at the end of your life. That is what antakale cha mameva, not antakale site 2.72. What was the shlok? Sitva sham antakalepi brahma nirmanam richati, right? Sitva shama. So stay in the the control atmosphere, what we spoke from 55 to 71, like, how a person walks, how a person talks. So, all those principles, be in that principle and go back home, back to Godhead. So, we can think about that going back to Godhead only if our brain finer tissues are sanctified. Because if the brain tissues are not sanctified, automatically we'll still be in the material existence. We want to enjoy more and more, eat more and more, and those kinds of things only. So all this combined thing together leads, and that's what Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada says, has provided all this thing to you. So which is, everybody should be in Krishna consciousness. That is the great need of this society today. And what else? Yeah, the long-term benediction, what it is? Reaching to the Supreme, like, reaching the Golok Vrindavan. We discussed how many wants to go to Swarga, right? So, reaching back home, back to Godhead. That is the highest benediction what one can get. Shreya. Shreya is long-term benefit. So, continuing that same concept. Anything else you want to say? True?
Science, science assumes order.
Yeah, everything is in order. Yeah, that was important point. Yes.
We arranged plant cannot be conceived by us.
Yes.
But can be perceived.
Yes.
Yes. Science assumes order, but spirituality also
goes one step.
Order, but with a plus one.
Plus one.
Divinity.
Yes, divinity concept. Yes, that's the whole thing. That was one important point we discussed. So we also, like scientists say, provided these assumptions, you will get this result. So, same thing, spirituality also says, provided these, okay, but apart from that, also they go one step ahead, stating that, above this, there is the Supreme Lord, whom has to be known with. So, I think all points have been covered, right? So, continuing the same concept, today, iṣṭān bhogān hi wo devā, dāsyante yajña-bhāvitāḥ, tair dattān, apradāyaibhyo, yo bhuṅkte stena eva saha. So, Krishna is speaking about the 12th shloka. He is saying, iṣṭān bhogān. Iṣṭān is desired. Bhogas is, so the desired bhogas, whatever you need, whatever you want to, whatever is you like, whatever is dear to you, bho means iṣṭān, whatever I like, whatever is dear to me. Ivo devā, the Devi Devatas, the demigods will give you. Ivo devā, the Devi Devatas will give you. Right. So, Ivo devā, the Devi Devatas will give you. Dāsyante, they will provide you. Dāsyante is the Ivo devā means these Devi Devatas. Dāsyante, they will provide you. They will provide you because they have the higher order, like we have already read, like, they have the higher order, and based on that order, they will provide. So, they will provide you. And tair dattān, the yajña-bhāvitāḥ, they will, yajña-bhāvitāḥ, if they will provide you if they are satisfied with your performance of sacrifice. So, whatever desires you have, that will be fulfilled by the Devi Devatas if you have done the respective sacrifice for them. And if they are satisfied with that sacrifices. Then, next line it says, tair dattān, so we will get from them, they will provide and we will get. Tair dattān is we will get those benedictions. Apradāyaibhyo, if we do not offer our part. So, apradāyaibhyo means if we do not offer, like, our sacrifices to the Devi Devatas, or we do not give our sacrifices to them, yo bhuṅkte means, and only want to enjoy, bhuṅkte is to enjoy. And if you want to enjoy alone, without giving any sacrifice to Devi Devatas, then he is a stena eva. He is just a thief. So what exactly is Krishna saying here? Stena eva. It's a big word, right? Krishna we call, okay, Navanita Chora, we Vraje Prasidham, Navanita Choram we sing. But when we sing and when we say Krishna as Chora, Krishna's fame increases, nothing decreases. Krishna, whatever work he does, he gets one name. He lifted Govardhana, he got one name. So he steals butter, so he gets one name. So Krishna gets all name. But Krishna for us is saying, if you have not performed your sacrifices and you enjoy alone only for you, then you are called a thief. So how we are called a thief, we have to just understand that, because we are taking universal resources without acknowledging the arrangers for these provisions which have been given to us. And that way, Krishna is saying that, you are not even acknowledging things which do not, belong to you. So that's the reason Krishna says, and you want to enjoy it freely. Freely in the sense, okay, even the Devi Devatas are not asking you, they are giving you, but they are not asking you. But if you do not acknowledge also this part, then you are certainly a thief. Now, for example, we'll just understand an example, because it's everything. The purport is very, very elaborate and very clear. Like example, you have gone in a forest, okay? You have entered a forest, you have lost your way, and somehow or the other you are finding a way to get to the main road, and you know what happens? And suddenly you see one big palatial building in the middle of the forest, and then you enter there, nobody is there at that time in that building, and by chance, so the owner has just walked out somewhere, so the door was open and they enter the palatial building, just see, oh, there are so nice facilities, the light is there, sofas are there, every arrangement is there, and there are apples placed on the table, there is so much of food placed in the fridge also, it is full, and everything is in a perfect condition, as if somebody is staying. And you try to look, nobody is there, and you think, okay, this is all for us only. We are all now tired, and we're trying to find the way. We are all tired, and what do? You start using, all those products, start cooking, and happily, lavishly eating and enjoying and everything. Now imagine in that place, now if the owner enters the house and he says, what are you all doing? And then they say, what are you all doing? We are eating. So he says, how can you enter my house? They say, it is your house? We didn't see you here. You weren't there. We tried, nobody was there here. So how do we know you are the owner of the house? Okay. And if you do not want to, acknowledge him as the owner also, then what will happen? What will happen? Huh? No, we'll be confused. No, but what will the owner do at that time? He'll call the police, right? It could be a culpable crime. You have entered somebody's house without permission. Okay, you are in the middle of jungle, you might have entered, and you don't want to acknowledge that also. And instead you are asking that, we don't know. You are the owner. How do we know that you are the owner? You could also be a, a traveler like us. So they take it for granted, that okay, this was all available here, we ate it. So it could be a culpable crime for them. They could land up in jail. The owner could very well call. Trespassing is not allowed. Nowadays they place the board, right? Trespassers will be prosecuted. And now if the board is not there and you still trespass and don't even acknowledge, then certainly you are the thief. So similarly in this material world, there are so many resources available. So the heat, light, water, whatever we say, all these are pre-provided in the nature. Of course, we have to do some endeavor to get them. Okay, they are mostly pre-provided in the nature. We have to do some cheshta through our senses. We have to feel the heat, or we have to drink water. We have to do some cheshta, pratak cheshta. 5 doers we remember, 5 causes for an action. So the senses will act, but you have to do endeavor. to do that. So we have to do some cheshta. Now, whether our cheshta produces the needs, so whether our endeavor produces the need, or endeavor just gets the needs. Gets the need, right? Endeavor is only to get the need to us. We don't make those needs, right? We don't manufacture those needs. We do endeavor to get those things to us. So there's a slight difference, between making things and getting things. So our endeavor is to get the things. Okay, get the things so that, we can enjoy. Okay, when we say, oh, cooking is there. Cooking is there, of course, you have to prepare also, you have to make things also. But the grains are not necessary, you have to go and open the bowl and take out the grains. So you have to do that endeavor. So you take out the grains and then you can cook. That's a process. Of course, cooking will come in the 14th, this thing, everything will come as a cycle of sacrifice. But then, this is where exactly endeavor is primarily to get the need to us, and it is not to make those needs. So our endeavors don't make the necessities. Our endeavors don't make the necessities. It is not that by our endeavor we create the mechanisms which will grow the grain. No. Okay, we have to do the endeavor even to grow the grains, but the entire mechanism is not in our control. It is also, unless everything else fall in process, we will not be able to get the grains. And if you got the grains, you have to, cut the grains, place it in the store, put it in the jar, then whenever it is required, remove something and then cook it. So everything, there is an endeavor required. So it is not our endeavor. If there is, if we don't do an endeavor, we cannot, do anything. For example, we cannot do endeavor to manufacture the seeds. We cannot do endeavor to manufacture the seeds. The seeds have already come from the previous crop. The seeds have already come from the previous crop. So basically, what we do, we just collect them, store them, and again, when the cycle has to start, when the rains have to come, we have to again plow them, and again the harvest would come. So we have to do our endeavor only. And then all other factors will come into picture, and that is where the Devi Devatas, unless the Surya Dev, unless the Chandra Dev, Surya Dev will give light, Chandra Dev will give all pushne, kya bolte usme, the ras pradan karte, the taste in the fruits and grains and everything is provided by the moon. Now, the moonlight provides all this taste. 15th chapter Krishna going forward will say that. And all these things. So, wind, water, Varun Dev, everybody, they provide all those. Then only it is possible. So, all these mechanisms, they are already, a process which is set in place, and that is how things comes to us. And we just want to not acknowledge all these processes and just want to enjoy those grains for our hunger. Like all of them went to that home, barged into the kitchen, took out the food grains, happily ate the feast, and does not even want to acknowledge. One has to understand, nobody can start anything from the scratch, we say in this material things, we cannot claim that we are the manufacturers of everything, because we cannot create atoms. We cannot create protons, neutrons from the start. We cannot do anything from the start. Everything, we cannot start from the scratch. Whatever is assembled, whatever is available in nature, that's what Srila Prabhupada writes. There are so many minerals available. There are so many, things available in the soil, right? We have to extract them. Minerals are not unlike gold. If you have to extract, only one gold mine in India, right? So how much of this thing requires to extract that gold? Iron. So a lot of process is required to extract those things. They are available in the nature, but there's a lot of endeavors which is required. So, you cannot, like you remove the ore, or you remove those ore, then you remove the impurity, so many things. Nothing is that, oh no, I manufactured gold out of some chemicals created by me only. You cannot say that. You cannot say that. So we are not the maker of things, rather we are just the acquirer of things. We are not the maker of anything, rather we are the acquirer of things. So our entire endeavor is to acquire or modify those things. And we cannot make them from scratch. So this is the principle behind it. We can acquire things, we can modify things, we can refine things. Okay, we can change the state of those things and use it for our purposes. Like iron, used in this AC, compressor, same metals and everything with some machinery, some kind of start and those kind of compressor being created, the cool air coming, same thing in winter can turn into hot air coming. So this is entire process which you can make from the things available in the resources. You can assemble them, you can through your brains, you can, using your brains, you can, we say manufacture, but actually we are not the manufacturers from the scratch.
Modifier.
We are the modifiers of the things which we acquired, and then we say we manufacture, of course, because, but imagine the things which have been already manufactured by the God. Yeah.
The demigod gave it to you because they were satisfied with it.
Yes.
So you already did something.
Yeah.
So you're
I'm telling you the philosophy.
Between yajña, which is a sacrifice. See, the purport is saying that they gave it to you because they were satisfied. So
Yeah.
they kuch diya unko already.
Yes.
So they gave you back.
Yeah.
So the first part is saying that satisfy the performance of the yajña, they
Yes.
supply. So you already did something, so they gave it to you.
No.
You want gold.
Yeah.
Okay, polar mein hai, okay, maybe it is not in ready gold. Gold ore
Yeah.
hai, mineral.
You did your efforts.
So it came there. But
Yeah.
It came because I did something in the first place.
No.
It says being satisfied with the performance of yajna.
Yeah, but your yajna was not to, your yajna was not only to extract the gold, right? So gold is already existing there in the nature.
No. Here it's saying they will supply all they gave you the necessary.
If you do your yajnas, they will provide you. So if you have done your extraction process nicely, then you will definitely get that gold.
So the first part, I think, will supply all the necessities, but
Yeah.
being satisfied with the performance of yajna. So
Yeah.
what
So if you do this yajna, endeavors, all the yajnas, for example, you do your fire sacrifice, okay, to make the Lord happy. So once you do the fire sacrifice and offer your things into the fire sacrifice, then the Lord is happy, and the purpose for which you did that yajna, the Lord will give you the result. So, and this is yajna for the fire. Now there are yajnas even for, that is where I took 2 slokas today. So all that will get cleared because, related to foodstuffs, we take things for granted. Because next sloka is very well clearly saying that if you do not offer, then you are eating sin. So this is where exactly we have to understand that we are not the creator of those things. We are just the manufacturer of those things because we are here. We have come into this material world. Krishna said, Deshe vosh twishta kamadru, go and enjoy and come back to me. We desired, to enjoy. So Krishna gave us this very much the readily available material world, but you have to do your work. That is where this entire karma. You have to do your duty to get those things. It is not readily available. You have to work to get those things, and you will get that. So that's why I said we are not the maker of things, rather we are the acquirer of things. So our endeavor is to acquire and modify things only. Don't think that, the nature exists on by itself, because going forward, Krishna has already said, Maya Dyakshena Prakriti. It is already the consort of the Lord. Bhinna Prakriti Rashtadat. Bhumi Rapo Nalo Vayur Kamman, or we have discussed many number of times. That is my one more energy. This is which is inferior nature, and we discuss what is superior, what is inferior nature. So it is a consort of the Lord, and the Lord has created this entire universal governance through which different Devi Devatas have been assigned with different responsibilities. Okay, so don't take nature as simply, nature is the consort of the Lord. It is the inferior energy of the Lord, and that nature has stored everything for you to enjoy, but Krishna has ordered along with that yajna, sa yajna praja srishtva. So Krishna has already made those provisions through the external energy and given you that go and enjoy, and you have to do your duty and then enjoy, but do it in such a form without attachment so that you go back to Godhead. So this is where the entire thing. So So to provide that, when you do the duties, somebody should help you out. And that is where Devi Devatas as an in charge, they are the agents of the ultimate government of the God who will help you out. So this is where, what did the word uses? Dasyante, they will provide, right? Dasyante, also a meaning word is, they are also the das of the superior boss, right? हम करने जाते हैं नौकरी, नौकर का मतलब क्या होता है? मालिक का दास, right? We go for नौकरी, right? हम नौकरी को जाते हैं. We go to work. So we work for the owner of the company. So we are all das, right? We are working as a das of that company because we get paid. So Devi Devatas, Dasyante, so they are already das of the Supreme Lord, and you do your yajñas, they will provide you with the result on the higher instruction, because it is a government. The rules on regulations have been placed already. In the 11th shloka already said, there's an entire system of government. You have to cooperate between yourself. The entire system is there. You have to cooperate with the nature. So a das will work as advised by the Lord. So Krishna said, do your sacrifice, and then they will certainly place you the reward. So it is important for us here to know our responsibility, which we should complete. Otherwise, we will be called as thieves.
The cycles. You are doing the yajna, because of that you got the fruit, but the fruit you have to offer back.
Yes, that is where Kal comes in the next sloka. So if you want to just enjoy it for yourself, that is where Krishna today is saying that you are a thief. Without even acknowledging. So he doesn't say offer. Offer, he says in next sloka. Here today he is saying just the principle that you have to just understand and at least acknowledge them. So now I'll just bring one test. I said, there were apples also when the party arrived in that building. There were apples also lying in the table. There were 5 apples lying. Okay. And 5 people were there. So, they said, okay, every one of them took one apple each. So what does this mean? It's just common sense. Nothing theoretical. Huh? No, it's okay. Nothing was left for the that's a different issue. Yeah. But what does that mean? What does that show their nature? Are they greedy when they distributed equally? Huh? Equality. Yeah, that is what, like equality. They show that 5 apples. So we have equally and justifiably distributed among all. So we are not greedy. There were 5 people and there were 5 apples, so we distributed equally and we happily ate it. So, but the fact remains is that those apples, whether you did it justifiably or you ate 2 and you gave half to other, if you have done it unequally or equally, the first point remains is that those apples there lying at the table did not belong to you. You have already चोरी कर लिया पहले तो आपने. You already become thieves and you say I am equal justifiable thief, equal just thief. Like we praise Robin Hoods nowadays, like people say Robin Hood बड़ा अच्छा है भाई, अमीरों से पैसे लूटता है, गरीबों के बीच में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करता है. अरे भाई डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेगा, वो उसका पैसा है तो करे ना. लूट के कर रहा है तो चोरी कहलाएगा ना. So current day Robin Hoods, people praise a lot. I don't know for what reason, but they are ultimately thieves only, right? They are ultimately thieves only. But बड़े बड़े पिक्चर आते हैं उसके लिए भाई, है ना. नहीं भाई, वो उसने गरीबों की मदद की. They just see that part of it, whereas they don't see, first of all, it's the place where it does not belong to you. So we have this concept of socialism which has come into our culture. We are sociable. So in sociable culture, what is the principle? In sociality, what is the principle? What is the principle? Equal distribution. Resources should be equally distributed. Do they keep the Lord in between there? No. So the so-called socialism also, makes you thieves, bigger thieves. Now you say, because I just gave you that example of 5 apples only for this, explaining this purpose of socialism. We say we are social animals. I mean, हम लोग सबको humanism, social humanism बोलते हैं ना. This is, we see, we have to respect everybody. We have to distribute equally, whether rich or poor. We have to distribute equally. All that is okay. That is all fine. In a way, that's very good. But first of all, are you keeping the Lord as the center there? Whom to this all belong to? Or without whose efforts these all things would not have been produced. So if you look from just a human angle point of view, socialism would look, as if, very good, a tool through which, a country can run and, equally distribute and everything. It's a very good tool. But when you look from the study from the wisdom of Gita, okay, when you study from the wisdom of Gita and the profound philosophy of Gita, from the greater sense, then you will realize this, this secular humanistic outlook is also nothing but making you so good professional thieves. Because you are not acknowledging the concept of secularism, does not acknowledge the supreme in hand, and the supreme Lord behind all this. It looks very odd. Because we have been taught, we have been brought into that culture, we have been growing up into that culture. That term was added in our secularism was a term added in our constitution, which earlier did not exist, because by nature, Vedic Sabhyata was secular only. But that secularism included the Supreme Lord in the center. And that is why, you have this, you have a kind of, where you can thank them, by doing all yajñas. So, we have different types of yajñas. People come from different parts of the world. So everybody has some kind of, offering. I will talk about offering in the next shloka. Then it will be better for you, because the way of thanking should be there. And what is that way of thanking is in Vedic Sabhyata is it by way of offering. That is where Krishna says. So first of all, if you do not acknowledge that that the Supreme Lord's hand is also involved in this, then you are certainly a thief. So you have any doubts in this now? Or anything? And that is why Srila Prabhupada says, okay, there are so many Devi Devtas and there are so many yajñas, which we discussed last time also, 11.15, which we discussed, no? There are so many Devi Devtas and so many yajñas. For Sun Lord, we said, we have to do Aditya Udaya Stotam. For Moon Lord, all different things we have to satisfy those Devi Devtas. And even if you forget one also, still you are a thief. Even if you forget one of them, you are still a thief. But that is where Srila Prabhupada said, Yajñanam japa yajñosmi, you do japa yajña, that is best source for you. Or you just follow Krishna, because Krishna's body has all these demigods. Arjuna confirms this in the 11th chapter. Pashyami svam tava deva dehe. So he says in 11.15, Pashyami devans tava deva dehe sarva bhuta vishesha sangan brahmanam isham kamalasanastam Nrushimscha sarvanu anuranganscha divyan. So I am seeing so many, everybody, I am seeing in your body Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, all the serpents, he said, that is Vishnu lying on the serpent, and all the sages and everything. So how will you thank all this? It's very, very difficult. That is why Srila Prabhupada in the purport says, just do Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, which is the yajña for the Kali Yuga. Yajñanam japa yajñosmi. Krishna also says, among the yajña, I am the japa yajña. So you do that and you are free from all kinds of obligations. We have already taken one shloka, right? Before, like if you just pray to Krishna, then आपको हर प्रकार के ऋण से आपको मुक्ति, 6 प्रकार के ऋणों से मुक्ति मिलती है. You have in your body obligations, like when you get this body, you have deva runa, you have pitra runa, you have matra runa, you have bhuta runa, different runas, obligations which has to be fulfilled. So if you just perform yajña to Krishna, all these obligations are fulfilled. We have taken during the 2nd chapter, we have taken one detailed shloka of Bhagavatam also. Patir Karina Rajan, something was there. We discussed like where where all the rinds we are free. हर प्रकार के ऋणों से मुक्ति होती है. मैं कभी और कोट कर दूंगा वापस, अभी ऐसे जानबूझ के याद आता नहीं है, बट जो लिख के रखते हैं तभी याद आता है. सो किसी का कोई डाउट है और कुछ इसमें? यू थिंक एनीथिंग इज मिस्ड आउट व्हाट प्रभुपाद हैज रिटन फ्रॉम द पर्पट? So what? So basically, we had discussed what are the dangers of not performing the yajna or taking things for granted. Then what will happen is we are called a thief. That's the biggest point today.
So this happens Sankirtana.
Yeah.
For the Chaitanya,
Mahaprabhu.
So what is that Sankirtana again?
Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yeah. Sankirtan yajna is for congregational chanting. When we all together do the first round, that is Sankirtan. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. When you do it alone, it becomes japa for you. Yajnanam japa yajñosmi. When you do it along with everybody, along with Kartal, Mridang, we do that starting. That becomes Sankirtana. So Srimad Bhagavatam has said, Yajne Sankirtana praye yajanti hi sumedasa. Krishna Varnam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam. So in Kali Yuga, Krishna, the same Krishna who is black, will come in a golden form. Tvisha Krishnam. He is not black, he is golden, he is white in the sense he is golden form. He comes in a golden Sango Pangastra Parshadam. He will come along with us Parshadas. So that's why Nityananda Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya, everybody, they are all Parshadas. They are all here in the Sankirtana. so they are in the so they are all Parshadas. This Mridang, Kartal, they are all the Astras. And the Harinam is the biggest Astra for the Kali Yuga. So that is where he says you do that, then you are free from. Yeah. Anything else in that? I'm also looking. Then he says, see all these. Then he speaks about this non-veg and, all this. He says, even those, it's like, even if you want to eat meat, actually, that is what. So, you can offer to some Devi Devtas, not all. And that is where he refers to Kali. The Kali, you go there, Calcutta, have you been? Any one of you? Yeah. You have to be careful. How careful in the sense? When you go to, darshan, you, as usual, we'll say it is Kali and, we'll just bow down and everything. Huh? No, not serve the meat. Okay, you may not eat the meat also. But the moment you go there, they'll put one tilak to you. And that tilak is nothing but rakta tilak of that sacrifice, goat made. Oh, that also is very difficult for us because it is equally sinful. So, if you have that tendency of want to eat meat and all those, then some Devi Devtas can be approached to, but they are all in the mode of ignorance. That's what Prabhupada has very clearly written. Because just it is yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ, means like, and that is where exactly, like, you do anything for Devi Devtas and they will give you in return. So that is where exactly you don't think of all those things, but you do everything which is in Satoguna. Prabhupada says, like, all those, because when you sacrifice those animals, they also subsist on plants and, they also subsist on plants and everything. And that is where the necessities would be fulfilled. So this is one extra point. And the metals are already available. That's what we discussed. We are not the creators. We are just the acquirers and everything. So the aim of life is to perform yajna and, okay. So we'll come to this next shloka, because continuously 13, what Krishna is saying now. So he says, if you do not do this, you become a thief. And the society of thieves is also not good. By not offering, or by, not acknowledging thanks to Devi Devatas also, like Varun Dev, Chandra Dev, Indra Dev, everything. If you don't want to thank them also, then you are developing a society which is full of thieves, which is also not good. And that is not the aim of life, right? To develop society of thieves. How do you say? We say International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and tomorrow there's Society for Thieves. It looks very odd, but then, we don't want to create that. So, because we will get sinful reactions. And how to avoid that sinful reaction, we'll say 13. yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo mucyante sarva-kilbiṣaiḥ bhuñjate te aghaṁ pāpā te bhuñjate te aghaṁ pāpā ye pacanty ātma-kāraṇāt. So very important shloka from Krishna consciousness point of view. You know, once Sunil Prabhu asked, कहाँ लिखा है ऑफर करना है? Remember? कहाँ लिखा है ऑफर करना है? We have to offer the food. So, you know, you want to eat and you offer to Krishna because that was as a discussion. He didn't mean to, but then he went out as a discussion. Tomorrow I want to eat and I just want to offer to Krishna and eat. Is that okay? I said, that is okay. You do that. Do it with that Mishrit Bhava. No problem. That's what I said, right? Because over a period you will come to know. Because you do it with the Swarth right now and then later on it will be with Niswarth. Because you get into that habit of offering. So this is oftenly quoted shloka. You know, that is where exactly for us, you know, what Krishna means today we'll understand. Because हम लोग बोलते भी कहाँ बताया भगवान ऑफर करो मुझको, तो ये श्लोक है. This is what is the श्लोक. yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo. So they say yajna is again related to only fire sacrifice because we started off with the fire sacrifice. No problem. Going forward, you will come to know sacrifices are many. Japa, this Bhagavad Gita reading, Bhagavad Gita chanting, or you know, all this sitting here, Kirtanam, Shravanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevan, all types of this will come under yajñas. And that is where, and yajña to fulfill, we have to perform that, and we have to do prasadam, we have to, and all those things will come. So you should have Shraddha and all those things. So there today Krishna means like Krishna had already talked about those terrestrial like cosmic celestial cooperation we already spoke in the 11, right? And then which underlies this worldly existence. And he also discussed about the government which is there, which provides all the utilities, you know, in the form of universal government, which will give you all these things. So now, and then he said that you have to acknowledge at least, otherwise you will be called a thief. Now the idea that we are dependent on nature is something which we cannot deny. It is undeniable, right? Till now, it's like now you understand that we are independent. We say we are the, you know, we are independent. We cannot say we are dependent on the nature. With this part, we cannot deny. It is undeniable. So, if we had to pay for this light, water, and all those being provided by the universal government, what will be the condition? Will it be enough? Like, okay, today biggest economy is what, America? Or it has changed now? So, still America. So, even the entire monthly bills of America would not be enough to pay if they have to acknowledge the universal bills to Devi Devatas. It will not be enough. But, you know, because I'm talking this because in this today's monetized culture, you know, we often, you know, attempt to things monetize, you know, then we understand the gravity of it. So only for that particular purpose, I'm saying you. You know, we understand everything with monetary value. Ye iska value kitna, ye iska value kitna, then we understand, oh, this okay. Oh, this $10, this $100. So what we can say. So by monetary value, we try to fix up something. So now, okay, for government, whoever is giving us those bills, we are paying, we know what we are paying, you know. Here it is cheaper, Bahrain it is costlier. We have seen that, you know, electricity bills and all those. But if the same electricity, light, water bills had to be paid to the Devi Devatas, these big countries would also fail. They will not be in a position. So we have to acknowledge that, you know, that we are dependent on nature because nature is providing us this, all this. Okay. And to do monetary exercise for this would be a fanciful exercise. You know, a fanciful exercise. We also understood that nature does not work on its own. It is the concert of the Lord and it has given us all these things. So everything is existing in the Prakriti. We have to do endeavors to get that. So ultimately we have to realize that we are dependent on the nature. So based on pretext, yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo. Yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo. Santo is what? Saintly people. Saintly people. Devotees. Straight away Prabhupada has written. And devotees are saintly people. You will hardly see devotees very cruel and all those. Exceptions are there, but we don't say. But devotees in generally are saintly people. That's why Prabhupada has written. So saintly people. Yajna is sacrifice. So we do sacrifices like, we have to do Aditya Udaya Stotram. We have to read, right? That is also sacrifice. We have to stand in a particular thing and, offer oblations of water and everything. So we have to do that. So that's a sacrifice. And offer water, right? For Surya, you offer water. Or for fire sacrifice, you offer Purnavati, you offer all the foodstuffs which you have prepared, right? As certain portion. पूरा थाली भरते हैं उसमें से एक एक चम्मच अग्नि में डालते हैं, है ना? That is how. So yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ. Śiṣṭā is the remnants after offering. Ashina, we accept. So doing yajna, we offer things, and remnants we accept. Who? The santos, that is the devotees, the saintly people offer their things to the sacrifice. And of course, we do offering to the Lord, and Lord doesn't eat the full plate, right? We come across stories where he has eaten it full, but Lord doesn't eat full, but he gives back to us. So then we call it as remnants of the offering. We call it as prasad because usme krupa aa jati hai, prasad. So that is accepted by the devotee, santo. And what will happen by this acceptance? Mucyante sarva-kilbiṣaiḥ. Mucyante, kilbiṣaiḥ is contamination from sinful reactions. Kilbiṣaiḥ is contamination from sinful reactions. Mucyante is we get freed from these sinful reactions. Mucyante sarva-kilbiṣaiḥ. We get freed from all sinful reactions, contaminations. Bhuñjate te aghaṁ pāpā. Te is nothing but ta plus va. Bhuñjate tvaghaṁ, tvaghaṁ, tvaghaṁ pāpā. So ta plus aghaṁ. Ta is nothing but tva jab add hota hai to main kya bola? Kintu. But what is said in the first line? Opposite. But kintu, opposite. Bhuñjate te aghaṁ pāpā. But opposite of what is said in the prayer, bhuñjate. Bhuñjate is one who enjoys. Aghaṁ pāpā, sinful reactions, which gives rise to sinful consequences. Sinful reactions which gives rise to sinful consequences. Ye pacanty ātma-kāraṇāt. Pacanty is cooking. By cooking for the self, ātma-kāraṇāt, for one's own enjoyment. Now here you say Atma is soul. So soul karana, soul's enjoyment. So here he is not referring directly to the soul, but to the selfish desires of the soul. But for the selfishness of that particular, but it is referring to that selfishness, not that soul. Soul is actually pure. It desires is to only serve Krishna. But due to the contamination of this mind, intelligence, and false ego, and being carried away by this mind, intelligence, and false ego, which we have passed through all that situations, how get carried away, we end up in doing selfish deeds. So doing that selfishness with one own interest, bhuñjate te aghaṁ pāpā, we get sinful reactions. And we are acquiring those sins only. So if you are eating those things without offering as a sacrifice, then they are eating sins only, nothing but just the sin. So like very clear, here people, they say we cannot take anything without saying Bismillah. Because for them, Lord is impersonal, Allah is impersonal. They just looking at the food, they say Bismillah and they have it. That okay, Allah, we are offering to you, and have it. Okay, when it is impersonal, that's what. For them, the Lord is impersonal. In this part of the world, we do is that only. So at least they are also offering it to something. How many of us at least tell that, oh God, thank you for giving this today plate of food? How many of us say that? And of course, we say Mahaprasada and all those, we acknowledge. But in general, so this is where it is referring to that selfishness. You are cooking the food for your own purposes and wanting to enjoy. So Arjuna was also thinking of going to sannyas and taking sannyas and going off to forest, right? That's what he said. Why are you putting me in this ghora karma? He started off this third chapter with that same question, right? He wanted to take, he says, if it is too better to do in Buddhi Yoga, then he was thinking that, it is better that, I do only Buddhi Yoga, where I don't have to work. He was thinking that Buddhi Yoga means no work. So, if a person, so in that case, he has to go to the forest, but he has to endeavor to get that fruits, right? Fruits and roots, whatever. They are also not readily available, right? Somebody, he has to thank there also. And if a person thinks, oh no, for this purpose of the maintenance of the body, Krishna has said, you have to maintain your body. So for purpose of maintenance of the body, I have to eat my food. Okay, that is all good. Sharira yatra cha api kaunteya, we have discussed that also. So I have to honor the food. So nothing wrong, I can eat it. But then you have to understand the principle behind that, so that you are not eating sin. And that principle is offering of what you are eating. That is the principle of offering. Yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ santo. So in all the cultures throughout the world, where the nature, has given bounty to anybody, in terms of roots or grains or anything. Okay, when the nature has provided, there is always an accepted trend, as a thanksgiving to the higher beings. So in West, we celebrate this Thanksgiving festival. Of course, don't take it to that, Italy and all those, but it was an harvest festival. The Thanksgiving festival was an harvest festival. Now I come from the part of Andhra. There is a Bonalu festival, right? There is Bonalu festival. There is Baisakhi festival in the north. There is Pongal. So there are many festivals which are based on the harvest. Right? Which are based on the harvest. Just based on the harvest. We have Vishu, based on the harvest. So what we do, whatever the grains have come, we want to thank the Lord. And these festivals are celebrated as a part of those Thanksgiving culture only. So across the world, Annakut, people don't forget that, right? Annakut. We celebrate that mountain of Anna, Govardhana. That's also a kind of Thanksgiving festival. Earlier it was being done for Indra. Krishna stopped it and made it to Govardhana, right? And he said, because Indra is not required for all this. You can thank Indra. If you do your duties well, he will have to provide you. You can thank Indra. If you have not done your duties, then it is a different thing. You are doing your duties, you have to thank Indra, and that's enough. But he has to provide. It is not necessary that you have to offer this thing to him. You can just thank them. Thank you, God, for providing me this opportunity. Thank you, God, for giving me such a wonderful opportunity in Jeddah. So that thank is thank you. But that principle behind that thank you, Krishna is taking one step ahead and explaining you today. Okay. So, in the form of an offering. So, he's saying, being grateful to God for things which is provided actually help us to remember God. Actually helps us to remember God. So in that way, at least when we acknowledge things that, God, you have helped me, it helps us to remember God. Because the moment we see the prasad, we say, Mahaprasade, Govinde, immediately thank Govind. So Vedic culture, this gratitude for food, which we celebrate as harvest or Thanksgiving festival, is formalized, the principle is formalized by ending up as an offering. So this Thanksgiving, it has to have some, some kind of presentation. That presentation, like here I said, it is omnipotent. God is present everywhere. So they say Bismillah and finished off. But Vedic culture has omnipotence as well as Archa Vigraha, Seva, and as a Paramatma in everybody. Krishna is seated, right? Krishna is present everywhere in the form of Brahma. He is present in everybody's heart in the form of Paramatma. And he is physically present in the form of deity to help you out, to serve him, to give an opportunity to purify yourself by serving him. So, it formalizes into that offering. So, this is the principle. So, certain samples. So, we prepare food for 50 people. Okay. Now we are 15. We have reduced from 15 to 15 because of holidays. So 50 people, prasadam we cook in big vessels and we take certain samples, right? One bowl. एक कटोरी sample लेते हैं भगवान के सामने हम offering करते हैं. If you take fire sacrifice also, you prepare food for hundreds of people. But a plate of sacrifice is placed before the fire sacrifice, and along with the Purna Ahuti, it is offered to the yajña-mukha, that is Vishnu, ultimately, for the pleasure of Vishnu. So that sacrifice can be in the form of fire, and also it can be in the form of archa vigraha. So the principle behind that is offering. Principle is offering. And what happens with that offering? When you offer that food to Devi Devatas or Krishna, because right now it is not clearly Krishna, but we tell you Krishna because, we give you the concept even going ahead of Bhagavad Gita, right? Because if you just take one by one shloka, then people will say, Devi Devata ko bhi offer kar sakte hai. Okay, you can do, but how many? You can't even remember the names, right? So it is very difficult. That is the reason whenever offering mantras are there, leave it here. When we take it, when I listen to many other culture, okay, ISKCON we say Mahaprasade or we say offering mantras. But if you just go through bhoga mantras, like Rajasthan में हमारे, like ये हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं, भोग जैसी भगवान को लगाते थे घर में. पहले जो दादी बोलते थे, दुर्योधन की मेवा त्यागे शाग विदुर घर पारायण, भगवान भोग लगाओ. मीन्स लाइक भोग लगे गोविंद आपको, आपने तो दुर्योधन का मेवा त्याग दिया, आपने तो विदुर के घर का शाग दिया, मैंने प्रेम से आपके लिए बनाया, आप खाइए. They used to sing it in that folklore kind of thing. It is kind which has come into a parampara. You can follow that parampara. If you do not know your parampara, you do not know your mantras, ISKCON is giving you that follow this parampara. We have, we offer it to Guru and Guru offers to Guru, and that is how we gave you this offering mantras, right? Srila Prabhupada mantra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mantra, and Krishna's mantra. So, Go Brahmana Hitaya and all those what we sing. So, we offer it to Krishna. So, though they are offering to all Chandra, Ganapati, Lakshmi, Saraswati, everywhere many times, because before we came to ISKCON, even our altar was filled with all Devi gods and everything, Devi Devatas. It is there. We used to think, everybody is Bhagwan. Only later on, when we read Shastras and our intelligence gets strong, that who is Bhagwan and who is Devi Devata, there's a difference. And that is how that difference we have to maintain even in the altar. So that is where Bhagwan is placed on the top. The Devi Devatas are placed a step below. Below that are placed the parampara. That is, so this is where exactly. So somebody says, I have wished of Hanumanji, I have wished of Ganpati. Okay, you can place it. You have some astha. Okay, you can place it, but understand the position. Because we took the shloka many times, like Ganpati saying that Vidyarthi labate vidya, Dhanarthi labate dhanam, moksha, putrarthi labate potra, moksharthi labate gatem. He did not say moksharthi labate moksha. Because he says, I am not eligible to give you moksha. I can give you putra, I can give you dhana, I can give you vidya, but I cannot give you moksha. I can give you direction that where moksha is obtained. Go to Krishna. Go to Narsingadev. That's what Ganpati means. Similarly. So, all these things are already there. So, even if you praise them, ultimately you will come to know that they are also praising the Supreme Lord for your ultimate relief. And going forward in the 7th chapter, it will be very clear that when you are doing it to Devi Devatas and then Devi Devatas offering it to the Supreme Lord, that becomes avidhi purvakam. Vidhi is to directly offer it to the Lord. Because Lord के चरणों में ऑफर करना है, Lord की बॉडी को मिल गया तो सारे देवी देवताओं को मिल गया. That is the principle. But हम जैसे we want to offer it to demigods, okay, do. He says ultimately that will also come to me. 7th chapter, we took those shlokas also. But that is avidhi purvakam, Krishna says. Avidhi purvakam. That is not as per the process. Because you are offering them, they will offer to me, and then I will offer them go sanction, and then they will sanction you. It's a long process. If you offer me, they are also satisfied. And you are also directly satisfied. And you are free from karma bandhana. If you offer them only, then karma bandhana comes in. This is the principle behind. At least, okay, for the food to get sanctified, you should offer. Okay, yajña-śiṣṭāśinaḥ. So yajna is the principle of sacrifice, and principle can be expressed by offering. Is expressed by offering. So as I said, it could be anything. So by offering, what will happen? Our remnants, the foodstuffs becomes sanctified. So जो प्रसाद के रूप में मिलता है, the remnants, that gets sanctified, and that is karma free. Because if it is offered to Supreme Lord, then it is karma free. Because Krishna is all pure, and whatever is offered to him becomes all automatically pure. Why do we take Krishna's name? So that we get purity. मन को प्योर करने के लिए we take mantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So in doing so, this process, we don't treat God, just as the provider of things, but we also see Lord as the enjoyer of things. Because going forward, he'll say that Bhoktaram yajña-tapsam sarva-lokamayeshwaram. So he says that I am the enjoyer, and here he is the provider. So bhakta, santas knows this very well, that he is the provider as well as enjoyer. So we should cook for him only. They go one step ahead. So cooking for the self, instead of cooking for the self, हमें अपनी तृप्ति के लिए बनाने से बेटर है हम भगवान की तृप्ति के लिए बनाएं. That is where we don't taste it also before offering. अब बोलता है कई बार नमक कम हो गया, ज्यादा हो गया, और भगवान ने खा लिया, आपने भी खा लेना है, खत्म. आपको लगता है कल नमक और ऊपर से ले लो, क्योंकि भगवान को भी अलग नमक चढ़ा दिया जाता है. कभी कभी हम लोग चढ़ाते नहीं है, दैट्स ओके, बट जनरली मंदिर में कंपलसरी एक नमक का एक थोड़ा साइड में रहता है, नींबू और नमक कंपलसरी रहता है, क्योंकि आप कभी कुछ कम हो सकता है. सो द लॉर्ड विल टेक केयर, देन यू कैन पुट इट. सो दैट इज वेयर प्रेमांजन भक्ति विलोचनेना, दैट्स व्हाट Prabhupada had quoted, right? Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Santas eyes are anointed with the, what we apply in the oint for eyes, kajal we apply, so that, the eyes shine. For bhaktas, the santas, the ointment used is prema to the Lord. Premanjana. Prem ka anjan. With the prem anjan they offer to the Lord. तो प्रेम के अंजन से भगवान को जब ऑफर करते हैं, है ना, सो देन वेदर कृष्णा एक्सेप्ट्स, somebody may ask, if you offer this way to Krishna, what Krishna accepts? He likes to eat or not? Yes, correct, no? But Mayavadi say, God doesn't have mouth, like, who have this omnipotence presence, who say that, Lord doesn't have a form. They say Lord doesn't have a form, so he doesn't have a mouth, so he doesn't eat. Right? That's there, right? We hear and we discuss also. We have amongst us people following omnipotence also. So, they are not there today. That's why I wanted them to be here today. But then, okay, they'll listen to this and they will discuss with me, I'm sure, because so God doesn't have a food at all, So that is not right, actually. That is where we say that is aghaṁ. The right jnana is, the formless cannot produce the form. Formless cannot produce the form. Lord is having his form. The form is Sachidananda form. But he has so much of effulgence that we are not able to see the Lord. And that because of that, we see only effulgence coming out of Krishna. Arjuna also could not see 10,000 suns. Arjuna, Krishna, I am seeing together risen. I am unable to see you. Or Krishna says, I am giving you divya jakshu. That is where you can see. Otherwise, with normal jakshu, you cannot see this, me. Because I have so much of effulgence. That effulgence is the omnipotence quality. We see that effulgence, we think Lord is omnipotent. That is what here people say, Khuda ka noor. Noor is nothing but effulgence. We have to pray to reduce the noor. And Moses prayed for reducing the noor, and only to Moses, Allah showed himself. हमारे भी इसमें आता है, हमारे ईशोपनिषद में आता है, हिरण्यगर्भ पात्रेण. हिरण्यगर्भ का अपना ये हिरण्यगर्भ is this golden effulgence. Please reduce, O Lord, so that we can have your darshan. Only with that divine thing, only it is possible that if Lord gives us that divine eyes, then we will be able to see the Lord practically with these eyes. Otherwise, these eyes are not suitable to see the Lord. And that is where omnipotence comes in. So that is actually the right gyan, that, Lord has a form. And many texts have defined, right? Krishna's body has been defined in many texts, right? Tribhanga, having a flute, Vanamali, Gadi Shanti, Shanki, Chakri, Chanandaki, Vasudeva, Sriman Narayano, Vishnu, Vasudevo, Abhirakshatu. So, all the Vanamali, Gadi, Shrangi, Lord is holding so many things, right? So many things Lord is holding. And, his smile is like this, Kandar Pakoti Kamani, Vishesha Shobhan, like, he's so beautiful. He is having thousands of Lakshmi serving him. We have discussed all this, So it's sometimes, the Lord has all this and he accepts everything. 9.26 you open. Lord clearly says what I want. There he says very clearly. You open that and read. Yo me bhaktya. Read the translation, bro.
If one offers me with the love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it.
What did he say? I will accept it. And what is the condition he laid? With love and devotion. The love and devotion would come if you are preparing for Krishna, as he is the provider and he is the enjoyer. आपके लिए आपने ही ये दिया है कृष्णा, ये प्रोड्यूस करवाया है पूरा, हम आपको ही ऑफर कर रहे हैं, आपके लिए बनाया, आप खाइए. So he says, I accept. प्रेम से, प्रेमांजन छुरित भक्ति विलोचनेन. That's why Prabhupada had quoted. If you offer it with prema, he will accept. Okay. Go next, read translation of the next one also. Yad karoshi yad asnashi. Read that also.
Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
Okay. Anything did he leave? Whatever you do, means whatever work we do it as an offering to Krishna. Whatever we eat, do it as an offering to Krishna. Whatever we leave, for example, Ekadashi, I don't want to have Anna, do it for Krishna. Right? Whatever you leave, like, there is family property dispute, I leave this. So don't leave it for the family. Say, Krishna, I don't want all this because of the Jamila. I give it to you. You want to distribute to my brothers, give it. Like, what we were discussing. So at least you will be free from karma bandhana. Whatever you leave, whatever you do, austerities, tapasya, Purushottam Vrata, Mataji is doing so diligently. Somebody else is doing another way. Offer that to Krishna. Krishna Arpanamastu end mein hona hi hona hai. We do Damodar, right? 30 days. How many of you? And in the end, we chant one shloka and offer it back to Krishna. So Krishna says that. Going forward, he demands, in fact. Yad karoshi yad ashnasi yad juosi dadasi. What else he said? Yad tapas is tat kurushva madarpanam. Everything you do it as an offering to me. So whatever you are eating, whatever you are leaving, everything Krishna says, whatever you are working, whatever you are, whatever you do it as an offering to me. So these are all being done by santos. So question may arise, what about non-santos? What about non-devotees? Krishna doesn't, he's a partial guy. That he is favoring the devotees, and people who do not offer non-devotees, Krishna is doing non-favoritism. Is it? Next shloka. Nine point. You closed, okay. 9.29. Good, good.
2.9.
2.9.
Can we no one, or am I partial to anyone? I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
So he says, don't think that I am partial to non-devotees, and I am partial to devotees. I am equal to all, he says. Whether you are offering or you are not offering, for Krishna's this thing is equal to all. But, for example, a small child, he prepares, like he has those toys, cooking vessels. We've seen. And they say, "Main dal banai hu, papa." And he goes and offers to grandfather or father, "See, I have made a very nice dal." So grandfather says, "Oh, you have prepared dal, let me eat it." There's nothing in that. But the child with prema has offered that to his father or grandfather or mother. And they accept it, right? Why? Because they see the effort of the child and the nature that he is giving. His first preparation is giving and bringing it to us. That is where Krishna says, if you do it with prema, offer those things to me with prema, then I am a friend of you and you are in me. That's what he says, right? So that is where the prema bhakti comes between Sakhya rasa, Vatsalya rasa, Madhurya rasa. All those things comes in where Krishna can reciprocate. So that is where he says. So don't think about so you have even non-devotees, they may have money, they may not directly offer. They will give donation to the temple. Please offer 1 sack of rice from my side this month. Temple accepts, right? Temple doesn't say, no, you are very rich guy, will not take. No. Because ultimately they are giving this because they have Lakshmi. That Lakshmi, they are using it in the form of seva to give it to somebody in the form of rice, and that rice being cooked and offered to Krishna. So automatically they also get that blessings, right? So now can you call them they are non-devotees? They never come to temple, for example. They never come to temple. Because they are rich, they sometimes just send. दान पुण्य करना चाहिए. दान पुण्य करना चाहिए. Temple never stops that. Okay, we in fact pray for them also, right? That they someday come in bhakti. So, even if you are non-devotee, maybe you are committing sinful activities, maybe you are eating non-veg, everything outside, but he is still doing some kind of devotional service so at least that will give him some sukriti and that will add up to his purification over a period of time. So, and suppose he is coming and praying to the Lord. He is a drunkard, but he has come and fallen in front of the Lord. The Lord still sees him as a mercy that he has bowed down to me. And he comes to, he eats everything at home, but he's coming to the temple, he's maintaining, whatever he does and everything, okay. Krishna says, okay, I will treat that person also as a santo. In 30th, he'll say that. In 30th, he'll say that. I'll treat that person also santo. Provided he is in bhakti. Provided he is in bhakti. Like, sometimes we see, अरे भाई, ये तो बड़ा भक्ति कर रहा था, कल तो धोती वोती पहन के घूम रहा था, and today I am finding him in a hotel eating all non-veg, or you're doing all kind of such things. You may find such persons, like, not necessary. But when it is coming to some activities, he definitely follows that. And at least he'll say, no, today I've done this. Yeah, I don't want to eat non-veg. Some kind of thing, at least he has that kind of mind. He's okay, I'll treat them also as santo. Mahatmanastu mam partha. Adega? That's what, read the translation.
Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly
situated
in his determination.
Yeah, so he is properly situated in his determination. Sometimes many big Mahatmas fall down, but if they are properly determined in their situation, Krishna will give them a chance to uplift. He says, I'll treat them as Mahatma only, don't worry. For some time circumstances, he has fallen down, but he will come back to. But if he is not determined and if he is a regular wave, I mean, like he takes waiver, then it is not, because the intention is more important. 31, read last row.
He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace.
Yeah.
Declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes.
Yes, so by doing so, a durachari can also become a sadachari. And Krishna is saying this, boldly declare, Arjuna, that my devotees will never perish. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochalena. So devotees who see nothing but presence of Lord as the giver and the enjoyer, if you have that principle and if you offer that principle of offering your devotees, then and you are determined in your situation to be Krishna conscious, reach back home back to Krishna, Godhead, then certainly He is giving you a guarantee that nothing will happen. You will be convinced. That is one common thing of accepting prasad. This all shlokas was referred to. तो कई बार हम बोलते हैं ना, इस्कॉन में तुम खाली प्रसाद को क्यों बोलते हो? अरे भाई, प्रसाद को क्यों बोलते हो? प्रसाद से सब कुछ कनेक्टेड है. माइंड की तंतुएं, ब्रेन की टिश्यूज, एवरीथिंग आर कनेक्टेड विद दिस ओनली. They all get purified, and that is how the purification comes within us. Whether we were all purified, I was not when I came before ISKCON. How many of you were before you knew this tattvas? Now slowly, many of you have started, right? Many of them. Okay, today we are less, but speaking with ourselves, but so just by honoring prasad, we get free. Even in 2.65, we read this. 2.65 last this thing chapter. हानि रस्योपजायते प्रसादे सर्व दुःखानां हानि रस्योपजायते. What was the translation?
For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer.
Yes.
In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established.
Yeah, one's intelligence is very soon very established. So this is intelligence only, right? To offer and all those. Shastra हमको बता रहा है. So we are reading that Shastra. That is, we are refining our intelligence. Oh, till now we used to not offer, so we should offer and eat. That is intelligence. So once your intelligence is fine, refined, you are in proper situation. So we read that in that portion also. Prasade sarva dukkhanam. If you get prasad, all dukkhas will go. That time we decided, okay, prasad is also one thing. But we discussed about threefold miseries, because that time threefold miseries were mentioned. So adhyatmik, adi bhautik, adi daivik, and adi shakti. So, but that again, that also was, I said, it can also be related to prasad also, because it will relieve us from everything. So if we do not offer Krishna, and just if we are eating for the self, pacanty, that is, if we are cooking only for the self, ātma-kāraṇāt, only for self-satisfaction, for selfish needs, then we are eating only sins. Aghaṁ pāpā. Aghaṁ pāpā. So, ghora karma, Arjuna said, right? Ghora karma. Why are you putting me into this ghora karma? Krishna, by way of the small offering or eating thing, he is giving an U-turn reply to Arjuna. That what you are doing, not doing your duty, you are not doing your duty is a ghora karma. If you do your duty, because that also 18th chapter we took a shloka, if you do your duty diligently, you are free from sinful reactions. 18.6 or something we read before. I didn't note that here this time. But that is what it is. So that ghora karma, if you do not perform your duty. Whereas that same ghora karma he is referring to here as aghaṁ pāpā, sinful reactions. So when you are cooking for Krishna, the consciousness, so the science behind that is when you cook for Krishna, the consciousness transfers into the food. So that's why they say, jaisa khao anna vaisa pao man. You get it cooked into the hotel, that fellow wants profit only. मैं तो आज इसको 50 प्लेट बेचूंगा, मैं तो इतना प्रॉफिट बनाऊंगा. So that profit only gets transferred into this food. That profit only gets transferred into this. When you cook food for Krishna, prema anjana only gets transferred to Krishna. Love and devotion only, because as a child did for his father, he did nothing. दाल नहीं बनाया वो, लेकिन खाली बर्तन में दाल खिला के वो दे दिया. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, there's a famous slok actually which says, Vishayir anna khaile malina haya mana, malina man haile nahe krishnera smarana. कि विषयी व्यक्ति means a person who is only for self-interested. विषयी means who is only interested for self-satisfaction. If he cooks food, then his mind accordingly turns according selfish desires. Because this gets transferred into the mind as a selfish desires. Malin huile man. So when the mind gets selfish desires, Krishna had said, detached. So you forget Krishna and you get attached to those desires. So you forget Krishna. Malina hai means nahi Krishna rasmaran. So you forget Krishna at that time. And when you forget Krishna, what happens? The mind, which the consciousness through which you have prepared the food, that also gets polluted. And in they are not offering it to Krishna, not remembering Krishna there also. As a result, then that selfish desires only you eat, which is nothing but sins. So स्मरण नहीं होता कृष्ण का, तो इसलिए भगवान चैतन्य महाप्रभु कहते हैं कि एक निष्कर्ष निकालते हैं कि भोजन पकाते समय पकाने वाला व्यक्ति जिस विषय का स्मरण करता है वैसे ही चेतना उसके अन्न के भोजन में आ जाती है. इट वॉज इन हिंदी, सो आई नोटेड इन हिंदी. यह बात उन वस्तुओं के लिए नहीं है जो अन्न की श्रेणी में नहीं आती है. यदि दूध, शाक आदि पदार्थ जो अन्न के श्रेणी में नहीं आते, उनको यदि कोई व्यक्ति पकाता है तो पकाने वाले व्यक्ति की चेतना उन पदार्थों में नहीं आती. परंतु यदि कोई गेहूं, चावल, दाल आदि अन्न के पदार्थ पकाए हुए खाता है, ऐसे पकाने वाले जिस चेतना में उस अन्न को पकाता है. समटाइम्स वी से कुक मिल्क, वी डोंट कुक, वी जस्ट heat it and give it to Krishna. Fruits, we don't cook, we just cut it and offer to Krishna. So going forward, when you go in bhakti and all those, the gradation of the sins would come. So if you offer, say, fruit, that is the lowest of the sin. That's why to new devotees sometimes, we say, you just bring fruits. It started off, right? आप लोग खाली fruits लेके आइए, Prabhu, right? I remember you asked me. I also want to offer. Prabhu, you first start off with fruit. That's okay. So if nothing is possible, you take fruit. That's a different issue. But कोई बोलते हैं हम बनाना चाहते हैं तो हम बोलते हैं पहले fruits लेके आओ. Because only you have to come, you have to know the concept behind. It starts off with fruits. That is the lowest sin which acquires. Then comes as because now say ये कई शास्त्र में लिखा है. So I'll give you the quotations also. But this is what is the nishkarsh of the acharyas. Then comes as milk, fruit, those which are just boiled and given. उससे भी कम sin होता है. पकाने वाले चीज में सबसे ज्यादा sin होता है. One which is required to be cooked on the agni, and that is where the cycle of annas we'll discuss next time. Annāt bhavanti bhutani parjanyād anna sambhava. That is the cycle of sacrifice. Why cooking is so important and why our life subsists on cooking. It's a very nice, big class. But then, that's also important. But then, so cooking is the thing where involves karma. That is where has to be purified. That is why we say, आप लोग माला करो, माला करके mind शांत रख के, you cook for the Lord. Don't taste. Without tasting, bring it here. That is what all the instructions was given, right? ऐसे ही तुम लोगों को means like we started making you all offering prasadam to Gaur Nitai and all those, right? So this is where exactly things will happen. So पकाने में फिर कर्म लगता है. Now you come to that tamasic. Krishna never asked patram pushpam phalam toyam. He did not ask at all. Give me egg, give me meat, give me fish. He did not ask all those. Now if you want to offer those, first of all, that is viparit karma. That is that is vikarma. You cannot offer that. Krishna demanded only these patram pushpam phalam toyam, which all this vegetable categories comes under that. Even anna comes under the fruit category. Even milk comes under the toyam category. So he had asked only those patram pushpam phalam toyam. So that is only to be offered. Now you cannot offer those. And you think, no, I am not eating. I am just working for the cutting of meat. I am just transporting the meat. I am just helping, to carry the meat. We took that shloka, right? Each and every person is equally sinful. Whether the person who first killed the animal, who cut the animal, who packed the animal, who transported the animal, who cooked the animal, and ultimately who ate the animal. All are equally responsible. Not that, cooking person is highly responsible, carrying person is less responsible. No, it is not like socialism is not mentioned there. All are equally responsible. Socialism is mentioned there. Just equal. So Krishna, this is where he says, many of them talk about this Manava Seva now. Now you talk on that Manava Seva. Now offering thing has come, no? People say, हम तो लंगर चला रहे हैं, मानव सेवा कर रहे हैं. Manav Seva is equivalent to Madhav Seva. How is it possible? Krishna did not say here, no? Krishna says, put it as an offering to Devi Devatas or to me. Going forward, he says to me in 9th chapter. But here he says through Devi Devatas, because we are in the Karma Kanda portion, that is where Devi Devatas are coming. But Srila Prabhupada reminds us in everything. Don't forget that ultimately you have to do it for Krishna, otherwise you will be in a trouble. That is why his purports are very solidly placed and people don't understand that many times. What Prabhupada is writing, for Karma Yoga also is writing Bhakti Yoga. Why is he writing? Many of them say that. But Prabhupada was Prabhupada. He did not just want people to lose off in one shloka. So that's why his shloka used to be, even one shloka you say, he has to say the entire gist of Bhagavad Gita kind of thing. So that's why we take more time to explain. Otherwise, 10 shlokas together we can take, right? Why we take only 1-2 shlokas and discuss so much? So that all your doubts should be clear. And then you come to that point of, intelligence. And that is where Buddhi Yoga, we discuss this whole, how to bring from multi-branch Buddhi to single focus Buddhi. Everything is for that. So, this way we don't eat sinful activities. So, any other questions anybody has? Or anything we missed out in the purport? So sometimes we prepare on the purpose. I covered mostly, but then yes. Kirtanam, Shvarnam and all those we discussed. Yes. Hari bol. कोई भी प्रश्न नहीं है या तो फिर बहुत ऊपर से बताता हूं मैं
नहीं सबको
माता जी is राधा कीर्ति देवीदासी माता जी and Madhur Gaurdas Prabhu ji. So Mata ji could not come last week. So we 3 were initiated here, as I said, no, Shubhangi, myself, and this Mata ji. Hari bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai. Oh, सवा हो गई, मैं सोचा एक तक